Hello there ladies and gentlemen, my name is Owen and welcome to a brand new video here on Blurb Osh. And as you can see, we are outside at the unit. It's quite cold, it's quite wet, it's a little bit snowy, okay? And we have the Vectra in the unit and we're going to do a little bit of digging with it today. You guys may remember from the video I first made of it and the second video where I moved it, there's a bit of rust on the rear arches, we know that, but there's also a bit of rust on the boot. So my objective today is to take the wiper mechanism off it from the rear and inspect how bad this rust actually is underneath that rubber bung, should we say. And we're going to try and see how bad it is and try and get that entire wiper system off. Now, because I don't know when this video is coming out, there's going to be a few videos done on this car in parts, because we've got a few bits to do. Like, we're going to do some painting, so the front wipers are coming off because they're going to get resprayed. We've got the mirror covers which need to come off, they're getting resprayed. Then I've got the boot bit which, once the wiper's off, that's going to get treated and sprayed. The arches are going to be a later date, and then we've got plenty of other things we need to do to it, as there's a loud Audi behind me. He knows who he is. But we've basically got a few things we need to do to this car. The interior is fine, so we've got nothing really to do there other than maybe put a new radio in it and potentially some new door cards. I know the rear brakes will need sorting because they're currently seized. So the car, I don't think it's going to get started today, but we are going to do the boot. Now, if I remember rightly, I locked the car, but only once the battery was dead. So the boot should be open. I've got some lights. We're going to sort this out today. We're going to take the rear wiper off and we're going to assess how bad this rust is. So we've got some light to work with here, so let's open her up, see how far this boot opens. Quite a bit actually. So let me just show you what we need to do. So this is what we need to tackle, is this rust. So I think the first thing we need to do is we need to take this bit off somehow. And then we'll get this entire wiper arm off, and then we can suss out what's going on here and how far this rust has actually gone through. Then after that, let me just put this down. We need to, oh dear, this is a heavy boot. We need to take off lights in here. We need to take off this this liner somehow. I'm sure it's just clips, and then that comes off. And then behind there should be the motor, which we can just unbolt off. It should be as simple as that, really. That's handy, that just broke off. There we go. one wiper off it. Lay that down here. I'm trying to see where the other clips for this are. So I know there are some here that just need pulling off. But you can see the state of it a little bit better now the wiper arms come off it. It's all very crusty and broken. This may take a couple of minutes to probably get this off. It's going to be a bit of a pain, I think, but we'll do it. So theoretically, this should come off like so, to which it has. Right, so let's work this out together, because again, I've never done anything like this. Underneath, the paint looks amazing under here. It's obviously never been looked under here before, but let's see here. So obviously this is the wiper motor. So we need to unbolt it, we need to unplug it as well, which should be fairly simple, he says. There should be two things on the side, push them in, that comes out. We need to get the motor off, and then we can access the bung. It might be we'll have to break the bung off it, but let's get the motor loose first and see how we get along there. Right, I think this is now free floating from that bung, and I can already see there is corrosion there big time. And I can see the boot flexing, so I need to try and get that bit out. So I now need to somehow get this off. So I think the only way of doing it is actually breaking this rubber off, which, as you can see, it's quite brittle enough to do. Oh my god, look at that. Just like that. This seal is all gone. So we need to take this nut off, and then that should all just drop through, and we can then see how bad the rust actually is under there. So this is the moment of truth. The motor should fall through, but what I think we need to do is get this this bung off here, of what's left of it anyway. It doesn't look quite clever, this, so I'm quite a little concerned into this boot's integrity, because it's crusting all over the place. But that should come out, you see, but it's not. So we need to get that off because that's the washer. So if I can try and get that off in one piece like that, put it next to all the spares or bits. Get this bung off, and then that should. Aha! The motor has now fallen through. So let's put all this crap over here. We'll put it on top of this so we know that's binnable. Let's put that there. Now let's get this motor out. We know the motor works fine. So let's see, where did that fall? That's right, okay, it's fallen where I needed to go. So that is the motor, which is the original motor as well by the looks of it, for a 1998 Vectra B. So yeah, that's all fine. We're going to keep that in the car where it's dry, well, somewhat dry, but we're now going to examine the underneath here. Oh yeah, okay. So, I can't tell, but that is all grease there. So, from the offset, somebody's tried to clean under here before. I can definitely see that bit there, because, you know, there's quite a bit of grease there. Now, if we close this boot, just realised there's dead things underneath here. Oh yeah, there's some dead things. Anyway, let's close this so we know. Let's give this a wipe. The rust is a bit poor here, so now we need to find out how deep that is. Now, to me, it looks like it's already been sanded. This feels... it doesn't feel like your normal type of rot, if you know what I mean. So what we want to do is we want to peel this off and be careful with the paint, obviously, because the more we ruin, the more we have to do, if that makes sense. But I want to see how bad this has all got under here. All I've got for this, stupidly, is a screwdriver. I mean, looking at this here, I mean, this is actually, look at that. See, what we're going to do, I should still have some of it here, some rust penetrant. If not, I'll get some more. But I want to just try and get all of that crap off. We're going to be very careful how I go about it, and without a knife, because I was expecting this all to just come off, I've got to be very careful with it. So let me come back to you once I've done this. Right, okay, so I've sorted it a little. There's still a little bit of rubber on there, but I've got the most off what I can. To me, this all looks like very... like someone's probably tried to patch this. I mean, for example, the hole, it's not totally circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape up a square bit here, what have you, and I'm going to sand this bit down as best as I can, and then from then on I'm going to probably cure it. We're going to paint it and blend it in properly, and then what we'll do is we'll get a new rubber bung to fit on there, so that this could at least be one thing we fixed, because that was only going to get worse. So yeah, let me sort that, and then we'll get started with the sanding. Okay, so I've got some rust treatment stuff which I need to just go and get. So I've had this stuff for a little bit of a while, and that's this Hammerite rust remover gel. Now of course I've cleaned this up as best as I can where it's pretty smooth. I'm just going to get this brush which I've used on the Corsa before just to brush off any excess dust, and then I'm going to lightly apply some of it, that rust protectant or rust remover here, and then once that's done it's going to be ready for paint. And then once I've got paint I should have a new bung by then, which will then hopefully cover all of this up. So guys, darkness is upon us at this point, but I think we've made a good start to the Vectra. We've just put some rust protectant on it now, and now we've just got to let it cure, dry it off. I mean, it's already looking like it's trying to work. I mean, if you look, don't know how well you can see it, but it's already trying to work. It's actually dribbling inside the car. Which is fine, that's not going to cause anything. But yeah, we'll have to carry this on another day for part 2, where we will have paint, we'll have a new rubber bung, and we'll be able to button this back up, and then that part of it then is then sorted, but we've got to let it dry as well, which is another thing. So anyways guys, stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.